My name is Laura Myers. I am the National Volunteer Coordinator for Austin Peterson for President. I am from DeSoto, Kansas, neighbors with Austin's home state, and yeah, that's me.
So what were you doing before Austin Peterson?
So before Austin Peterson, I was going to school at Kansas State University, and I was president of my College Republicans Club, and I always leaned libertarian. My parents are kind of homesteaders, big gun nuts, but we were always Republicans. We live in a pretty red state. And then I interned at the Libertarian Republic, which is Austin's news organization that he founded. And he was sort of my teacher for a summer. And I went to work every day, and he wanted me there at 8 a.m. on the dot. And before I came in every day, he asked me to gather stories, and he asked me to read. And I would come into work, and he would ask me about what I read. And Austin, for an entire summer, was a reader. Or he was a teacher, I'm sorry, and I was his student, and I came back to school in the fall, and I would say things in the classroom that I never thought that I knew, and it was because of Austin. He sparked this light in me, and he brought me to the Libertarian Party in full, and I saw how he heartlessly worked for the party, and I saw that it was just truth. I converted from the GOP, and I was all in for the Libertarian Party because I saw that it was pure, and unlike the two-party system, it wasn't about politics. It was real people, diverse people, and they really cared about a cause. So, yeah.
Awesome. And just look in the camera and just ask that delegate for their vote, please.
All right. So, if you care about the effort, the state party leaders, the average person, the party member, how they grind, it's not about a person, it's about a movement, and it's about a leader that can bring the movement forward. And I think, if you want someone who will carry the torch for you and carry the torch articulately for you, I urge you to vote for Austin Peterson because he cares.
My name is Grant Deltz. I am a state coordinator for Texas and Tennessee with the Austin Peterson campaign, and I'm from Liberty Hill, Texas, right outside of the great city of Austin.
And what were you doing before Austin?
Well, before Austin, like many millennials, I was trying to get a good sense of my future. I was faced with a decision between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and frankly, I was faced with a decision in a two-party system that is very morally corrupt. I was very enlightened to learn of Austin Peterson. He had such a great grassroots campaign, and I was blessed that he was able to reach me. And ever since then, I knew that he was who I had to fight for not only my future, but the future of all my fellow Americans.
Great. And ask them directly for their vote now. Ask the delegates directly for their vote.
From one delegate and millennial to every American and delegate out there, please, let's have your vote for Austin Peterson.
My name is Daniel Sheehan. I'm 23 years old, and I'm from San Diego, currently working as a life insurance agent. I was a Republican for many years, although I always had libertarian leanings, but I was never really willing to consider myself a libertarian because I didn't feel like they could connect with the rest of the world. I thought if we wanted to get the message out, we had to do it through the Republican Party. That was before I found Austin Peterson, who is a pro-life, constitutional libertarian. I can't tell you how excited I was to see someone who actually stood up for the Constitution, who also stands up for life, who is also for limited government. Those are the things that matter to the majority of Americans, and particularly to myself. That's the reason why I am now so excited to be an Austin Peterson supporter. And I have to ask, if you're able to help us out, we need votes. We need the votes of the delegates. We can't do this without any of you. And I wish we could, but we can't. Because the libertarians have to be united on this. If we're going to get the message of limited government and limited taxation and our morals out to the rest of the world, we need someone who is articulate and exciting and can appeal to millennials, and there is only one candidate who can do that. In my opinion, I would say that is Austin Peterson. So please, help us out and vote for Austin.
My name is Britton Northcote. I'm 16 years old, and I'm currently the director of Oklahoma for the Austin Peterson campaign. I'm from Oklahoma. So Austin Peterson did something that no other candidate has been able to. He has inspired me to not only pay attention to politics, but start doing economic reading, more in history and really learning. I had been involved with, like I had supported Rand Paul, but Austin is the person that really got me over the lump. He's the person that inspired me to really do my reading. And I know that just talking to some of my friends and people that I know, they're also very keen to become a part of what Austin is doing. They love the message of liberty and limited government, and they feel that Austin connects best with them. They understand. It helps me to articulate to them when they find a candidate that they can relate to. So I'm asking on behalf of someone who has been inspired to fly from Oklahoma, drop whatever I had just to get out here and support Austin. I'm asking you to please give him your vote so that he can continue inspiring young people like me.
I'm Mike Knievel, 35 years old. I'm from Bellevue, Nebraska. I'm the treasurer for the Austin Peterson campaign. The first presidential election that I was able to vote in was back in 2000. It was Bush and Gore. Since that point, I have not been motivated to vote for another presidential candidate. In fact, it took me a decade to find the Libertarian Party and call it home. Since then, I wanted to seek out candidates that I wanted to be like myself and support people like that were going to grow the liberty movement, not only at the local level, but at the national level, and create a liberty revolution. It's been 16 years since I've been able to vote for president, and this is the first election where I can be proud and tell anybody, tell my family, tell my friends, tell strangers on the street that I'm voting for Austin Peterson, that I'm working for Austin Peterson, that he is the guy that's going to bring liberty back to this country. He has motivated an amazing base across this country, from people younger than me, people much older than me, and he is going to continue to do this if he gets the nomination. And I urge you, I implore you, I beg you, if you're still undecided, please vote for Austin. If you want to continue the liberty movement in this country, he is the guy that is going to take us to the next level.
My name is Van Gutierrez. I'm 28 years old. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I would have considered myself a Ron Paul Republican. I was critically searching for a candidate after Rand Paul dropped out. I couldn't find one that was worth my while. I began to give up on politics. Just said I don't care. And watched the craziness prevail on TV with the left and the right. And then one day I was on Facebook, and I came across Austin Peterson. I watched a couple of his videos. After about the third video, I was sold. That man carries the message, carries the torch, inspires me to do more within this party, because I feel like if I get involved in this party, I am a louder voice. I have more of a message to spread. I can spread it to more people. I can articulate political issues with people that I agree with. I believe that if we nominate Austin Peterson as president, we can grow this party, we can destroy the two-party system, and forever change politics. If we don't elect Austin Peterson, we are not going to be able to put a candidate who can go up against the big two.
Pocket open? Do I have something hanging out? All right. My name is Keith Doran. For a long time, I've been involved in politics and liberty activism. It was Ron Paul in 2008 that first got my attention. In 2012, I did a ton of work for Mr. Ron, and then 2016 comes around, and I did a decent amount of work for Rand. But when Rand didn't perform in Iowa and he left us hanging, we didn't have a liberty candidate. So I went looking in the LP, and I found Austin Peterson. And that's where the revolution really continued. There's something great about Austin, because he's not just trying to win this for himself. It was a few months ago. I remember him on Facebook saying, "You can post on here all you like, but if you don't get out and build your state parties, we're not going to be able to run a national race." So in that time, I've gone to my party and I've done everything I can to build it up. And inside of 3 months and being a Republican just a short while ago, I'm now the vice chair of the Libertarian Party of Maine. Because of Austin, we are doing great things and the party is growing. This is the revolution, and I hope it continues.
My name is Taylor Hoffman. I'm a freelance graphic designer from Ohio, and I was born into a family that was mainly Republican, so I grew up thinking that the Republicans were the good guys. I quickly realized that was not where I belong within the Republican Party. As a teenager, I switched to the Democratic Party because I thought that was the only other option that I had. Dr. Ron Paul turned me on to the ideas of libertarianism in 2012, and I ran with him. I never registered to vote or anything for Dr. Ron Paul. I thought he was great. I thought his ideas were great. I supported him every way I could, but I still wasn't into the system of voting, the government, politics, and all of that. Austin was the first one to ever inspire me to even register to vote, and now I'm here at the Libertarian National Convention as a delegate just because of Austin Peterson. I would never even imagine the Libertarian Party as an option for me if it wasn't for Austin Peterson. So I urge you, as a delegate, help us continue the revolution, help us keep pushing for limited government, social freedom, economic freedom, everything with Austin Peterson. Please vote for Austin Peterson.
Hello, my name is Alex Hellwig. I am from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I'm an assistant instructor, a martial arts instructor, and so I guess I'm a true ninja for liberty. I am a very small minority because I was raised a libertarian. My father introduced me to the works of great libertarian authors like Murray Rothbard, Ayn Rand, F.A. Hayek. I was exposed to this at a very young age, and over time, as I first was awoken, I was first really brought into the political world by Dr. Ron Paul in 2008, and I was just a young kid then, and I was helping go and putting out signs over on the side of the road. In 2012, I did it again. I walked door to door, I handed out pamphlets, I stepped up. And now here, I look to the Republicans and there's no one, I look to the Democrats as well, and there's no one who has a consistent message of liberty. And so I looked to the LP, and still I didn't find a consistent message of liberty in the presumptive nominee, Gary Johnson. And I found this guy, Austin Peterson, from a small town, and he's just like me. And he had the same message, he had a consistent libertarian message. And he didn't compromise any principles, and he's still bringing Republicans to the party by showing what we agree on. He's not about separating us from people. He's about bringing people together. And that's why I want you to vote for Austin Peterson in this election.